Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Boom, we are now live. So, hello everyone and welcome to the Geek Battle Show here on the Extreme Improv Xstreamed and Geek Battle Gaming YouTube channels, I think. We're a lot of different places. Oh my god, are we not on the Geek Battle channel? Yes, we are. Okay, good. So, we're going to discuss all kinds of things. The Snyderverse may be returning, so we'll discuss that and so much more after the intro.
Welcome to the Geek Battle Zone. We discuss comics and puny minds are blown. We debate Marvel versus DC, Skeletor, X-Men, and Ron Weasley. Judge David slams down the gavel. It cap dreams of Henry Cavill. It's a Geek Battle stream. Nerd rage as we assemble our Geek Avengers team. Welcome to the Geek Battle party. We got the Justice League and our Batman is Marty. Say Halo's a Tim as movies are greenlit. Every movie that's already seen it. Xbox, Star Wars, and Star Wars Star Riders. He-Man, Star Trek, and David loves spiders. We battle as Marvel and Disney will blink, and we try to crown the Geek of the Week. It's the Geek Battle Show. Welcome to the Geek Battleground, where we use the Force and the One Ring is found. Cap is wrong about Resident Evil 6, and everyone watch out, 'cause oh shit, it's thick. Gerald and Tim and Diz will try to win at the Geek Battle Quiz. David and Dave will confuse their crew as they dive in the TARDIS of Doctor Who. Watch out now, we're full of hot takes. Johnny Courtney is garbage, but Red Dwarf is great. You love Sega, I love Nintendo, but in the Geek Battle, we are all friendos. Oh, it's a Geek Battle show. Oh, the Geek Battle show. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Geek Battle show.
Boom! And we are live. So, hello Cap, how are you doing?
Heyo, I am hailing from the land of leopards and crocodiles, and I have not punched an elephant, so I'm good.
You've not punched an elephant?
Yes, but I wish to, because I recently saw a video of a honey badger fighting an elephant. I feel like that's kind of fun.
Honey badgers fight everything. Those are crazy creatures.
Yes, and they lose most of the time.
Do
just
they?
Don't give up.
Yeah. I appreciate that. That's. I've only ever seen videos where a honey badger will take on like a pack of lions or something like this.
But the weird thing with them is that they're extremely durable, but that kind of lends them into getting into fights that they can't really win.
Wow.
So lions will generally would like, okay, we don't want any part of this, but then if it gets too snarky, the lions will kill them.
Damn, I thought they were the true boss of the jungle.
No, so if there's a recent video of a honey badger went after an elephant where it just like soccer kicks it all over the way to next central.
God damn. Oh man. That is
But
rough.
that is not my geek fact of the day.
Ooh, what is your geek fact of the day?
Continuing on my Warhammer trend, we also have some Warhammer news. But continuing on the trend is that talking about the Necrons, the faction of the Warhammer with the really, really old Terminator knockoff creatures.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing about them, like I said, they're the most humanist thing in their 40k setting, more than humans, because they actually have plays. But the thing is, they're robots. So instead of learning the lines, they can just, upload the lines to their head. So their scripts kept getting longer and longer. Now their plays can now last up to decades.
That's ridiculous.
So, yeah.
No.
And the way they process things as well. So if you have like a problem, David, you would probably like think about it and then it's not solving, so you'll probably go about your day. They will just sit, let's think about this for the next 10 years. And they'll sit there and just think about it. And then the solution has arrived.
Well, that's like the Ents in Lord of the Rings, isn't it? Like they spend forever talking just to say, right, we've now agreed that we will discuss it.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Yeah, the planet died years
Which
ago.
kind of makes sense, right? Like if you have all the time in the world, you would actually think things through.
But if you had all the time in the world, couldn't you just, if you're immortal or whatever, couldn't you just gamble on anything? Because what does it matter? You've got more time if it goes wrong.
That basically what the Necrons do, but the problem is they also have other immortals. So they can't just hope they would die out because they're there. So they just basically the book called Infinite and the Divine, which I highly recommend to you, David, is like an opening to Warhammer. You can read that and just like get into Warhammer.
Yeah.
But it's basically these two old robots from the dawn of time itself just having petty matches with each other. It's basically two old men punching each other of their old grudges.
Okay, so that brings up an interesting thought. If you had to, like, elevator pitch, if you had to try to pitch someone why they should be interested in Warhammer in like 3 or 4 sentences, how would you sell it to them?
It'll be the most wackiest, philosophical, weirdest experience that you'll ever go through.
Okay, well, the weird and philosophical together makes it sound intriguing, certainly.
Yeah, it's and at the face value of it, it's just like giant big dudes punching aliens. That's
Amazing.
Pretty much how it started. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole shtick. Like if you see Space Marine, giant big dude punching
You had me
aliens.
at giant big dudes. No, I'm joking. Doesn't sound like it.
You sound like the Emperor of Mankind, where he said, like, I will make super soldiers, big burly men. What about women? No!
Men.
Big burly men.
Yeah.
But speaking of Warhammer news, because of the launch of Space Marine 2, which the protagonist Titus, which was originally played by a British actor, I forgot the name, Lance Reddick, probably?
I don't know who that is, so I can look it up.
I think he's the one who played it first. He was in Kingsman. He was Merlin, I think, in Kingsman. And in the second one, it was played by a different actor. But now that Space Marine has turned into Henry Cavill.
Oh, hey, wait. Is he a black guy?
No.
That's Lance Reddick. So you remember when Lance Reddick, if this like what the name you said, is that guy. You know he was in like Resident Evil as Wesker. I think he died, didn't
my
he?
god, the poor man's last performance.
Oh,
no, not him. So if you Google Kingsman, you will find him listed in as the character Merlin.
Kingsman Merlin. Oh wait, so that's what's his name? Is it Mark Strong?
Mark Strong. How did I get that mixed up with Lance Reddick? Maybe boldness.
They're both bald. Yeah, that's it. You have a white bald guy and a black bald guy. They both play people in business suits, so you know.
Now, if you Google Titus throughout all three, or Titus all appearances, or Titus evolution, you will see the different phases of Titus, the Space Marine character, and now his final evolution is basically Henry Cavill.
Okay, so wait. What have I put in? Oh, hang on. It says Toys Evolution. I typed Titus. Damn, this like AI just like Toys Evolution Space Marine. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying here already. So it is basically Henry Cavill.
Yeah, it started out of that. So where's that face? The last one in the third row on the far left.
Oh wait, if I clicked it wrong then.
Yeah.
Which one? This?
No, down from that. The big image from what you clicked. Yeah.
So what about this face?
That's Henry Cavill's face.
Well, it's kind of. You know, I think Henry Cavill would be a bit gutted if he did look like that suddenly.
I mean, if you see the new trailer where they've launched, where it's looking more and more like Henry Cavill more than anything else. Which is a thing, because like Space Marines are like heroes of certain books, but the thing is like you wouldn't really consider them as main characters of 40k, because like you have the Emperor and his children like Primarchs. Yeah. So I'm a bit surprised that Henry has gone to just a Space Marine, but I think because of the game's famous, that's why he probably launching itself off from that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, interesting. But okay, speaking of Henry Cavill, I'm going to use this as a segue.
Yes.
The Snyderverse may actually be returning.
It's like a cockroach; it won't die.
I feel like whoever was in charge of DC, or even if James Gunn stays in charge, he just has to say, we're going to still do the Snyderverse. It'll run alongside, we'll do 2 more movies to wrap it up, and then everyone will be happy. Then he can continue doing his thing. Because at the moment, Warner Brothers is on the verge of being sold. And if Warner Brothers is sold in a couple of different directions, if it's sold to Netflix, they have a relationship with Snyder, they'll make it. If it's sold to Saudi Arabia, apparently the company out there...
They also like him for some reason.
They like Snyder. They just financed his last movie. And so then Zack Snyder, this whole thing that he's just been like sharing images from the Snyder Cut and everything for a few days, that people are like, oh my god, it's returning. And James Gunn has gone really quiet.
The weird thing, David, like when they announced like the Superman is not doing well, from that day onwards, Snyder has been just posting still from the Snyder Cut.
He wants
like
it back
every damn day.
Yeah, he wants justice. You know, he's actually going to get the just. The only problem is well, okay. So one of the things that I read is, say Netflix buys it and they're like, we're going in. The Snyderverse is returning. The first thing they announce is, well, if I was Netflix, I would announce Man of Steel 2. I would announce Wonder Woman whatever, and then Justice League Part 2. You know, and they'd have to...
I would say Batman would do better. I think Man of Steel 2 is perfect.
Here's the problem. Does Batflick want to come back?
Even if he doesn't, you can get Alan Richardson or like the guy from the Yellowstone movie. It just fits. It's the same big guy. So I'm not really sure Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck will be up to it because I think he was like pretty much okay with whatever happening at that time. He just like, because of the relationship with like DC and Snyder went apart, he was like, okay, I don't want any part of this. But what is he doing now? He's not really doing anything. So he'll be like, I'll be Batman again.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ben Affleck, like, how old is he now? He's got to be 50, right?
Yeah, but Tom Cruise is still doing it in his 60s.
Well, yeah, that's fair play. He's 53. He could still play Batman.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be doing any stunts, actually.
Like, literally somewhere in the world right now, Jared Leto is praying as hard as he can. Please, I need this. You know, release the Ayer cut and... Oh yeah, so that's what they should do. If I was Netflix... David, go on.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
To be fair, David, Jared Leto will not be playing. He would make his cult pray for him, basically. He has a cult.
Yeah. No, right. So if I was Netflix, I would announce... that coming to Netflix, you know, I would say that we're going to do this big event and we're going to have the Snyder Cut is going to be on there with a new ending. That's what I would do, because you want something out within the first year. You don't even want to wait a year, really. You want something in a few months' time. So I would be like, we're going to have all this hype stuff. We're going to have these... like one-shot shorts based on various characters, which are going to be just things that they like last 10-15 minute shorts based on a few characters, so that you've got stuff coming out. And all of it would be like cool shorts that are like dark and gritty, and they just and bad guys win, and you just see the rise of Darkseid or whoever you want to focus. Do one with the Joker. I would announce, in fact, that in a few months' time, the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad would be the first full film that people haven't seen that, you know, a cut off before.
Oh, yes!
Yeah. So you've got something there. I would then say that a month or two after that, we are going to have Justice League Part 1 with an extended ending with new footage. So like how they had an extended little thing before, I'd say it's going to have a 15-minute additional ending. And people are like, this is already a 4-hour movie. And I'd say, but that is going to come out of what we're filming for Justice League Part 2. And I might say, because Justice League Part 2 might have to happen next story-wise. It might not.
Yeah.
But if not, then I would say Man of Steel 2, Wonder Woman, maybe not Aquaman, I don't know. Like, I'd still bring back Jason Momoa. I don't know if I'd do Aquaman.
I think James. One of the best thing that James Gunn did is cast Jason Momoa as Lobo. He's Lobo. He's not Aquaman. He's Lobo.
Well, yeah, and see, and like, so that somewhere out there right now, Jason Momoa is like, please God, don't let them buy it. I'm Lobo now. Don't make me be Aquaman again.
Funny thing is, if they use Jason as Lobo, they can do Man of Steel 2 with a really good villain, because he's a really powerful villain that can actually match Superman physically.
Yeah.
And it would be different from all the stuff that we've seen is just a bald guy trying to murder Superman. It'll be an actual powerful thing, but with charisma.
Yeah.
Not like Zod. Okay, maybe all Zod had weird charisma, but Jason has his actual charisma. So I think it's actually a better movie. But I would still include Batman, because this is what I've seen from all the trends. No matter what the hell has happened to this whole DC universe, whenever a new Batman movie comes out, it does well.
It does. Okay.
So just, you need to put a Batman in there, otherwise it will not work. I think that's the reason why James Gunn is actually losing, because he himself kind of said it, that he doesn't know how to write Batman. And that shows the clear different vision of him from other DC characters and what the DC brand itself is. I know that Superman is like, the bright and color sunshine is actually the kind of the thing with Superman. But if you look at throughout the decades, especially the 90s, the 2000s, the early 2000s, Batman just frigging took over. And all the shows, the cartoons they put out, they were more serious. They took themselves seriously. They didn't say, oh, we're bright colored sunshine all the time.
Yeah.
They gave Superman that character. He was the sunshine in the hole of darkness, but it was dark. It was gritty. Not as stupid as the Snyderverse, which I will still hold by. This will only work if Snyder's ego goes down enough, so he will say, okay, I need a better writer.
Well, yeah, like he does need better writers overall. Like, I don't mind Man of Steel really at all. The only thing I didn't like the only two things I didn't like about Man of Steel was the Jonathan Kent thing, and the idea. I don't know why they keep doing this. The idea that they say, oh, like Kryptonians can't give birth. It's like, that's a super weird thing to put in there. Like, it was super weird. And then, like, Dave isn't here, so I'll only mention Doctor Who briefly. But, like, the guy who's in charge of Doctor Who, as soon as he got in charge in 2005, he's like, the Doctor, he's the last son of Gallifrey. It's like, wait, this is Superman's story, the last son of Krypton. And then Snyder was like, there have been no natural births on Krypton in generations. And suddenly in the last Doctor Who, he's like, oh, yeah, Time Lords are barren. It's like, what? Just let the aliens have children, right? What is wrong with you? But yeah, so they were the only two things I didn't like. Batman versus Superman, there is stuff in it which isn't ideal. Like, it came out, it was cut down quite a lot because it was a long movie. And that, he should take responsibility, because they need to have lots of screenings in a day. So they had to cut it. And so it didn't flow as well as it could. Batman fighting Superman only lasted 8 minutes. And it also came out a month apart from Civil War, where you had Captain America and his whole team fighting Iron Man and his whole team for 20 minutes. And then they go and have a final battle after that. So Batman fighting Superman needed to last longer.
You know that weird thing, David? Marvel actually did that. They purposefully released it before Batman vs. Superman could come, so they could steal all the hype.
Yeah.
They actually did that. But I would say even when they did it, Batman vs. Superman was comparatively a hit than all the stuff that they actually put out now.
Yeah.
Because at that time, again, it was fresh, and again, we were into the whole we can't wait to see what they will do with this, because it was a brand new style from Marvel. One of the best things that Snyder did, he made it so much different than Marvel. It actually thought, oh, we have another flavor of superheroes and not just the same guys.
Is that what he did, though? Or did he say, oh, this is the same flavor as The Dark Knight? Because you think there was still a chance. There was still a chance that Man of Steel would meet, like Henry Cavill would meet Christian Bale. They were still angling for that when they made Man of Steel. It was
because I think Christopher Nolan had a lot of input in the script. He just wouldn't do the movie, but he had a lot of input in the script. And he said, you know what? I have a guy called Snyder. He recommended Snyder, actually. He said, like, he did all the visual stuff for my Batman, Dark Knight movies. He knows my style. He will carry on from there, and he just dipped.
Well, but also it's like, you know, so he was like, this is the guy that did 300. This is the guy that did Watchmen. That was Zack Snyder, and people were like, visually these are incredible movies. Story, like, character was a bit lacking. So for me, I like Henry Cavill's Superman, but he isn't. See, I would much rather Superman be serious like Henry Cavill than just be Star-Lord like David Corenswet. Because it was just, he was a doofus. And I was like, even if Superman doesn't smile enough, at least he seems like a hero. He needs to be a hero first. Not that I'm going to have an argument with Lois whilst I let other superheroes just fight a giant monster in the middle of the sky.
Oh yeah, that was in the background. Wow, what was this movie thinking?
Yeah,
David, as more you describe it, the hate border for this movie increases for me.
Weird.
I think there's a perfect balance, and that's why I'd actually hope for James Gunn, because he referenced a lot of the 90s Superman the Animated Show, where Superman was serious, but he also was kind of tongue-in-cheeky when he was like Clark Kent and stuff like that. He was able to match with Lois, her sarcasm and things like that. Not like this dude. He was actually match Lois's sarcasm, because like he will always get... the idea is that he's the country bumpkin that is working in a new press reporter work. And Lois thought, oh, he's going to be a baby and I have to take care of him. But then in the show, Superman gets to every story first, and then it becomes a competition between Lois and Superman. And she even asked, like, how are you able to do this? How are you able to keep up with me and keep all the bylines? And he said, then Superman cheekily says, well, Lois, I'm actually Superman. I just used you to get to these stories, and I just like cut you out of the byline. And then she's like, "You're a sick man, Kent." And then she leaves because she doesn't believe him.
Does she know that that he's Superman?
Nope, she doesn't.
That's great. Well, because I'm Superman.
That show's great.
Yeah. That
show is great, David. I think if you'll have a fun time watching that show, because I think that set the stage for all the animated stuff that I grew up with, which was like our idea of Superman. I would say it's more like Christopher Reeves than anything else, because like I don't have any comparison to compare the 90s Superman to, because Christopher Reeve was also kind of cheeky and he can be serious, but he's also, you know, a character, not the new guy has some good stuff. I would say he has the heart of Superman, which is something that lacked in Man of Steel, where Superman didn't care whatever the fuck happened. He was really reacting to the situation, where they said like, "Oh, what do you think we should do?" And Superman's like, "Do whatever you need to do." Don't you have any input? Nope.
Yeah. Well, look, so the worst thing probably from Batman v Superman, Man of Steel. So one, letting Jonathan Kent die, and it's Jonathan Kent's like, no, and Superman, he's a teenager supposedly, so he could be like, well, I wasn't fully formed in my ideas. But then, when the bomb goes off, Superman turns up to address Congress. And this was the thing that always bothered me about Henry Cavill's Superman, is I don't think they trusted his American accent, because he just doesn't speak. He turns... You watch Superman 4, Quest for Peace, and Superman gives this whole speech about why we have to de-arm nuclear bombs and all this kind of stuff. Superman walks in. He looks like Superman. He goes on the stand... And before he says a single word, a bomb goes off around him. Kills everyone in do you remember in that hearing? Because it's a jar of piss or something like this.
Yeah.
And Superman just stands there in the fire. And it's like, you could have saved all of them because you can move quicker than the Flash. You could have
Yeah.
saved all of them.
See, David, this is Snyder's problem. See, that Flash scene wasn't added in that situation. He could have still got away with it, but in Justice League, it was like, oh, I'm gonna have this super cool scene. You should be like, Snyder, no! Forget the rule of cool! We would break continuity!
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say that's also the big issue where Superman, went to kill Batman. Why would he need to do that if he can move faster than the Flash? He could just search the whole world in few seconds and saved Martha by himself.
Well, exactly. So, the whole him fighting, as soon as he starts fighting, he stops speaking, and he should just be like, instead he's like, if I wanted to win, I could already win, right? And stuff like this. It's like, no, you've got a more pressing issue. Why are you here? Say why you're here. Save Martha. Why wait until
the last moment where he has his boot up on me so I can barely say it out loud so I can give him emotional damage of his mom.
And also, couldn't Superman, as soon as he releases that spray can of the kryptonite, as soon as it's just that much, it's just opened that much, he sees that much gas, couldn't he just be like, oh shit, that's kryptonite, and just be out of there?
David, you just answered the reason why Superman is fucking overpowered, and that's why every show and TV and movies don't really play with his speed. They say he's faster than a speeding bullet, but they never really emphasize how fast he is because they know that would just break shit. Because the thing with the Flash, he just moved. That's his thing. He can just move fast. That's his thing. So we can still put limitation on him. Superman cannot just move fast. He can do lots of other stuff.
At the same time,
So it's really hard to give him that power. That's why in the Justice League show, they depowered that shit a lot. Like, Superman can keep up with the Flash, but then if the Flash really wanted to, he can beat Superman. So that's why Superman never really, into, that sort of stuff. And that was a good way to actually realize, that's the old Seinfeld joke, where Seinfeld basically makes a joke. You have Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash. Why? We have Superman. He can do everything.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, I did though, in the Snyder thing, when they had them fighting Superman, they did give the sense that Wonder Woman could, basically match him strength-wise, that Aquaman could kind of match him, physically as well. Flash could run and try to do something. The only one who was a complete bitch was Batman. Batman was just there at the back, stood next to a car. Tell me, do you bleed? It's like, yes, I'm going to bleed. That's all I can do in this situation against you. I can bleed.
That's one of the worst thing that came off Batman versus Superman, which is a trend that started on Facebook memes where Batman basically says, I have a suit for that. Which I absolutely hated because that's Iron Man's thing. Iron Man is the one who builds suits for different superheroes. What Batman does, he did that for Superman, but he doesn't really need to do that. What Batman does is really sneaky. He uses specific tools to attack specific heroes. And most of the time he's fighting Superman, he's the only reason why he would be close to Superman if he's wearing kryptonite on him.
Yeah.
Otherwise he would be like he did in the Snyder movie. He would be 10 feet away going, I don't want any part of this.
Yeah. So I know in the cartoons and the comics, both Batman and Lex Luthor get suits so they can fight Superman.
Batman doesn't. Batman only did that once. Lex Luthor does.
No. Yeah, Lex Luthor absolutely does. But the big suit that he's got in Batman v Superman was based on a comic.
Yeah.
Or a cartoon.
That one he wore in the comics of Frank Miller's Batman vs Superman, where Batman was old and his body was literally broken. So he literally had to. The suit is what holding old Bruce up.
Yeah.
Is basically a walking hospital for Batman. And the way he beats Superman is not with the suit, it's that he had Green Arrow tag him with kryptonite. That's how he actually beat it. The whole fight was just a distraction.
Yeah, okay. So, it's such a shame. They could easily do Batman v Superman if there was like the idea that Batman could feel like, because whatever this future land in at the end of Justice League and the dream sequences that they saw, where there's this nightmare world and Superman is evil and the bad guy.
Yeah.
If they did something so like Batman was like, I'm basically going to need to become a super soldier to defeat him, and I'll basically sacrifice myself. I'm going to become a monster to be able to do this. Because even like in the old Christopher Reeve Superman, that chamber that Superman puts himself into to take all of his powers away, if there was some quest where Batman's like, I'm going to have to do something so that I can, match him physically, but it's gonna kill me and I'll only have a window to do it, I think he could do that. But then the problem is...
And the answer for that lies in the Injustice game, David. So in the Injustice game, in the world where Superman is evil, Batman develops a Kryptonian pill or something.
Right.
When you take that, you literally become indestructible, at least for some things. Like you're still not going to be able to really match Superman, but if Superman throws you in a building, you won't immediately die. So it gives you that advantage. And even in the Injustice verse, the Injustice comic is basically Batman trying to figure out how to kill Superman. And he would just creatively invent every issue. Batman's basically thinking of a way to beat Superman. That's how the whole thing goes. One time he brings the Green Lantern corpse in, and then Superman gets the yellow ring, and he just basically whoops the Green Lanterns. So every issue is basically him trying to think. His last one was Gold Kryptonite, where Gold Kryptonite is basically meant to depower Superman permanently. Like if you get a scratch from Gold Kryptonite, first it'll weaken you, but if you get another scratch from the Gold Kryptonite, you will be human. You won't get your powers back. So there are things like that you can do for Superman, but the best way Superman, in any situation Batman answers, Kryptonite's a very good example he can just use. Because like, as long as he has it, Superman will have a hard time getting to him. So he basically has to go near him where Superman goes, oh.
Yeah, but he can from a distance.
Don't think too much about the speed thing, David.
Yeah.
If you think of the speed thing, this whole thing would never work.
Not just speed, but like he can just like use laser eyes. Just like heat vision.
That you can say the kryptonite somehow blocks it because the radiation kind of has a bubble over it where super Kryptonian energy can't
so like the kryptonite is here. Bruce is here. Just take out Bruce.
It just has a bubble. The kryptonite radiation bubble.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you could get away with
This is me bullshitting, by the way.
you could justify something like that. You could say that his heat vision cannot penetrate because the thing that creates it is defeated by the kryptonite. I don't know. Yeah, I think you're onto something there.
But the funny thing is, David, like they actually did it in the show where Lex Luthor used kryptonite so much that he gets cancer. He basically gets cancer from using kryptonite.
Wow.
He just doesn't realize it.
Well,
and
Lex
then he
Luthor.
learned. And So they say like, Lex, I have some bad news. You have cancer. From what? From the kryptonite. But it's for Kryptonians. It's a radiating rock. Okay.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
The funny thing about like the Superman thing, where Batman what really relies upon in all the stories is that he knows Superman is at the end of the day is kind of a good guy, and I can exploit that. So Superman wouldn't just really go heat vision head off. At least the good Superman won't. The Injustice Superman will, but like the good Superman won't do that. So I have some leeway that I can use to subdue him. This is what Batman uses in all the stories. In the Frank Miller comic, where the suit is from, basically Superman gets hit with a warhead, and that warhead completely blocks America from the sun. The dust blocks the whole thing, and Superman is really weakened. And that's why Batman was able to actually have a fist fight with him for at least a little bit, but he still needed kryptonite to do so. But the easy thing they do with like Superman, just make Superman fight other enemies who are equal in strength to him.
Yeah, I completely
There are
agree.
plenty of Superman enemies they can match him strength for. Lobo is for one. Lobo is literally indestructible. Superman can't do anything to him unless beat him up.
It was really interesting when they did Smallville, because this is where I first saw this idea, but I'm sure it was in the comics before, where they were like, oh, there is magic in this world, and Superman is weak against magic. So that opens up possibilities. Then you have like Doomsday, obviously, that you've had various iterations, and Lex Luthor and both Batman as opponents to Superman is meant to be their mind. Their mind will be what defeats them. Because Superman is of good intention, but he can be outsmarted. So that is like his ultimate weakness. And then obviously using people against him. So if people are in danger, you can have an advantage over Superman. But Snyder was just like, no, just break his neck. You know? And he was right. But the reason I always forgive that is because Christopher Reeve killed General Zod as well. He threw him into a pit.
He threw him in the Phantom. No, he fell, right? He fell.
No, he threw him. I'm going to look this up. I need to find this clip. I'm sure he picks him up and throws him. Non just goes like that and falls. Literally, non just self-destructs. So Superman 2.
But if you look at like Christopher Reeve films, you can see the clear vision that they did. The first film they did with like Lex Luthor shenanigans, and then the second film they bring in like Zod and stuff, and then they do a robot with the comedian. That's kind of wacky, and then they bring in Nuclear Man. So they just they up the stakes at least a little bit in each film.
They had no idea though, because that was the amazing trivia for the Superman history on film. Is that history repeated itself? So Richard Donner was the director of Superman, and they filmed Superman and Superman 2 back to back, and halfway through, the people who'd got the rights to Superman were like, "This guy's too expensive. Like it's taking too long. Marlon Brando's playing Jor-El. We're paying him millions. We're just gonna get his assistant director basically. It wasn't his assistant director, but someone who had done like second unit photography, Richard Lester. You direct Superman 2 instead." Gene Hackman said, "Screw this, I'm not coming back." So because of that, they basically had to keep half of the movie in that they'd already filmed. They changed a bunch of things. And so the plan was from Richard Donner to always have Zod. But the ending that they came up with, Superman originally in Superman 2 was going to fly around the Earth and put time back. They were like, that would be a much cooler ending for the first movie. So about 2005, when Superman Returns came out, they released the Richard Donner cut and they finished the movie using CGI. And where they had to, they used footage from the theatrical cut. Just because they were like, there are some scenes we didn't get. So we're going to use the absolute bare minimum of the finished release that did come out, just so the story will make sense. But as much as possible, they put in the original Richard Donner cut, including Superman's Clark Kent's screen test. Christopher Reeve, his screen test, he is noticeably skinnier, and because he is nervous, he is sweating under his arms. And they left this in the movie, and it's him and Lois, where Lois decides. Have you seen Superman 2?
Yeah, where he like shoots him to see
exactly,
Superman
right.
or not.
And so after that, they were like, okay, so Richard Lester, Superman 2 was a big hit. Make Superman 3. So this was not the original plan at all. Gene Hackman was like, I'm not coming back for this. Margot Kidder, Lois Lane, was like, I'm not coming back for this, but she was under contract, so she has about 8 lines in the entire movie. That's why
because he went in love with the farm girl or something.
Lana Lang becomes the love interest, and so they introduce a different billionaire who then brings in Richard Pryor, and then they just have a robot at the end. Now, I love that movie. I think that's a great film. That's the one I liked most growing up.
You just love it because of that actor, Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor. No, I loved Lana Lang in it. I loved the robot. There's so much I like about that film. There's a scene in it. Superman. Is it Superman 3? Yeah, it is Superman 3, where because the robots have made things go all crazy. You see like the Green Man and the Red Man on a traffic light get into a fight with each other. You know, it was ridiculous. It was such a ridiculous film. And then years later, they did Nuclear Man, which Christopher Reeve was now in charge of, but they slashed the budget in half as soon as they were about to start filming, and so that's why.
Was the producer Batman?
No,
You're
it was
not
like an
kidding.
independent movie. So the same people that made the Dolph Lundgren He-Man film made
Oh my
Superman
God.
4. I like both of those movies. But, Superman 4 is wild in itself, because Nuclear Man in the movie is actually Nuclear Man 2. And there is another one. They cut this entire part of the film out. They make Nuclear Man, and he's a slightly fat and stupid character that's got the brain of a baby. And he fights Superman. I'm going to bring up the clips. Superman fights him, kills him, throws him into the sun, and then when he goes into the sun, he turns into Nuclear Man 2, which is the one that they left in the film. But there's this whole sequence where there is a Nuclear Man that has a brain of an infant, and Superman just kills him.
Damn, Christopher Reeve.
Superman 4 Nuclear
But David,
Man.
now that you said it, I'm now picturing Batman as the one financing the whole film, and he's like, "No, I need you to kill someone, but I don't kill. No, you're doing it." He's
Okay.
gonna become Nuclear Man too.
Right, okay. I'll probably get a copyright claim if I put this on too much, but I'll see what I can do. So nuclear.
You
Oh,
can
come
put
on.
the shield. The shield.
I kind of don't want to be honest. We should just check this out. This is a deleted scene, so I wonder how much you'll get into trouble. So this is a deleted scene. I'll present it, but we'll see what happens. Am I going to get into trouble? Let's just try it, see what happens. So Lex Luthor steals a bit of Superman's hair. Let's just skip it on a bit. He's then making Nuclear Man. There's his nephew Lenny Luthor.
Put it on fast forward, David. Maybe that'll help you.
I don't know how. Is it this?
You can adjust the speed. Yeah.
Playback speed 1.5. So this is how they're making Nuclear Man.
Nuclear Man. It's like an oven where they just bake him.
Yeah.
I think this is what they reference in Megamind, David.
Okay, so so for copyright's sake, he is not naked. He is not naked. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to pause this. He's a tad too naked. But
Skip it.
he's got. Why has he got a metal tin over his dong? Right. And so he's like, Daddy. Honestly, he's like an infant. They dress him up in this ridiculous suit. He's got ridiculous hair, and he can break a brick in half, and then he finds it funny.
David, when did this movie come out? Is this before or after TMNT?
This is 1987, so probably a couple of years before.
Okay, so they copied this because Shredder makes mutants of his own, and they also are turned out to be babies. And Shredder goes,
Yes,
they're babies.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Okay, so he makes this Nuclear Man. Are we going to get an advert? Oh no. And he comes up here. He likes this girl, or this girl likes him. Superman flies in. Oh my God! What the hell is that?
God.
Is that someone dressed as Superman? Because that wasn't Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, that wasn't him.
That was crazy. Hang on, that's a bigger headline than anything else. So he's going to get thrown. So Christopher Reeve's stunt double there was awful. Look at this face. When they're going to show.
Yeah.
That isn't Christopher Reeve. That is the most ridiculous thing I've seen.
He doesn't even have the same haircut.
No, he didn't. And so so now he's going to squash Superman behind a car.
This is a man who literally turned back time, and his biggest way of getting rid of him is pushing him with a car.
Yeah. Why is he trying to stop him pushing the car? Why doesn't he just circle round and go and get him?
He just got up in the moment, I guess. Hey, push back. We must push again.
Boing. He's like, come on, fight. Now this actor, there's a UK medical show called Casualty, and he was a main character in it for years and years. But here he was playing Nuclear Man 1. And then later on, he was in a sitcom called The Vicar of Dibley as an important role for an episode or two. But it's so crazy to see him fighting Superman here.
The whole funny thing is Christopher. What were you smoking, Christopher Reeves?
Look at that! Look at that special effect. It's so bad. Oh, is this what turns him into Nuclear Man 2?
Electric
is that it?
current?
Is that it?
It could be.
Oh.
Superman Returns.
Is that how he supposedly killed him? But anyway, so I'm probably gonna have to sort out the copyright on this later. It was worth it. And also for the record, YouTube, he'd got a metal pan over his cock, so he wasn't.
What
naked.
is that? What is that called? There's something. Is it
a cod piece?
Yeah, I think is that it? Because like I've seen like there's a jokey thing. There's like a man something.
I don't know.
No, that's a man bun.
A man bun. I don't know. No idea. Okay, so
but in any case, like if Snyderverse does come back, I want Man of Steel 2. I'm not really sure how it will happen. Again, Henry's pretty much busy with like Warhammer stuff.
Yeah.
And he also has a kid now, so I don't know how the shuttling will work. But I think they can actually do, because here's the thing. James Gunn basically absorbed some of the Snyder stuff that he really liked. He obviously put like Suicide Squad into it. I would say the new Lantern show is coming out. I think if Snyder does get DC stuff, he should do the Lantern show, because like what has been lacking from the Justice League is the Green Lantern, which is a really good character.
Well,
you can really
Snyder tried to add Green Lantern to the Snyder Cut, and they didn't let him.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I think they actually filmed stuff with someone playing a Green Lantern. And he was told, no, you can't use Green Lantern.
Ryan Reynolds ruined this. We can't do it again.
Oh, do you know what? There was so many rumors, wasn't there, that in the extra things that it was going to have Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern.
Yeah.
But he filmed something else because Ryan Reynolds was like, no, I'm going to do Deadpool. And so they filmed something with someone else as a Green Lantern. And then they were like, you're not allowed to use it. So then he had to film Martian Manhunter in there instead.
Yeah.
He turned up and did absolutely nothing. And it's like when you see that giant tank that Batman had got. It was only there to make people go, we want the sequel so we can see Batman and his giant tank.
To be fair, David, the funny thing, like Martian Manhunter is almost or maybe more powerful than Superman. They actually, with the episode that he premieres in, they have to really depower him in each episode, so they will let Superman can shine. And that's why most of the time Martian Manhunter is in the Watchtower, guarding the Watchtower alone. Because like he can just take on anything that just comes to the Watchtower. And there's a good scene. So the introduction to the Suicide Squad was in that show where they try to steal a magic armor from the Justice League vault. And what they come across is the Martian. And he just whoops all of them. And it's in a really scary way. He's basically like Ridley Scott Alien with Superman powers. So it was a really good freaky scene where they unleash Martian Manhunter. And they even made a parody of the whole thing where everyone does like, so are you going to do anything in this episode? Because, you know, you can solve this whole problem with one punch. No, I'm just going to stay in the Watchtower.
Oh, God. Wow. Okay, so, Cap, a few other things. Like, I don't know if Dev's going to make it, like, we'll see. And so we're not going to recap everything if not. But we've already spoke about this in our group chat or whatever. We have the first shots from the Legend of Zelda movie. So that's our Link, that's our Princess Zelda.
I approve.
You do? You're just talking about Zelda,
that's
right?
Yeah, just Zelda.
Okay.
I'm specifically talking about Zelda.
Yeah. Now, I don't recognise her at all. Amazingly, I do recognise him. I've just been starting to watch a show on Netflix, which came out years ago now, called The Haunting of Bly Manor. And he was in it as like a 10-year-old. And so I was like, oh, it's him. And it's him like a bit more grown up. Like it's about 5 or 6 years later. But I think he looks decent as Link. You know, I think
he looks like Link.
Yeah, I think they've got he genuinely does look good as Link, and I think she looks. I don't know just by look if I would have imagined her as Princess Zelda. But yeah, you know, she looks like she'll be good as it, but that she isn't quite.
Well, what about him? Where's the Link sword and shield and stuff? He's just like so if you look at the image, David, he's like admiring her backside the whole shot, basically, while she stands heroic.
Well, then he's got the right idea, hasn't he? He's a dude, right? It's like, yeah, you look there, you do it, Zelda, right? But it's interesting,
Link,
actually.
what are you doing?
It is interesting. They definitely are going for the more modern. Like, it doesn't look like she needs rescuing here at all, to be honest. So there's going to be Ganon. Go on.
You can still make this work because like they kind of did this in the weird thing they do in the 2000s where they do have like a tough girl, but then she does get into trouble and then the hero saves her, but she's like, I don't need anyone to save me, and then the next scene literally gets saved by the hero.
I think they need to do something so that Link has to save her, because it's called The Legend of Zelda and he is the main character, and the whole point is that at some point he has to save her.
Yeah.
You know, because yeah, go on.
No, I think they do play around with these tropes, but I'm okay if you play around with it, but don't forget what the heck that actually is about, because like I think that's kind of what they did with Mario, but it was kind of okay with Mario, I guess. I don't have too much attachment to these, so I don't know how much it'll sting to see Link be useless.
Well, I don't think it'll be useless. Like, it's just interesting. Now, I don't know what this character... I can't remember this character's name. In, like, the N64 game, like, she was Zelda's protector. And so I'm guessing she's playing her, and she looks like her. I think that's a good look. I recognise her, but I can't, for the life of me, think who I know her from. So let's just see if it says here. Ocarina of Time. Thing is, Impa is much younger than she appears in Breath of the Wild, blah, blah, blah. But who's playing her? Don't know if I can see that.
But you know the weird thing, you can still use, because like she's mainly shown with the bow and arrow, right?
Yeah.
You can basically do what Legolas does. I mean, like Aragorn is obviously the main character, where he's the one who's actually in the melee fights most of the time. Where Legolas does get his moment to shine, but most of the time he's just in the distance providing range support. You can still do that. They did that in the Narnia movies as well. Because, to be fair, that also makes sense. You're an archer. You're not going to be in the middle of the fight. You're going to be, like, far away and then, you know, providing support. Because, like, you actually can do damage from far away than being in the middle of things. Where actually someone with a sword and a shield can actually take the punch and then, you know, deal with it. Basically what Superman and Batman do. Superman goes in, gets punched and punched back, while Batman figures out the shit.
No, I get it. I hope the tone of this is exactly like the Rings of Power. No, I'm joking. I hope the tone of this is very, very Lord of the Rings. Very, very Lord of the Rings. Like, I don't want it... Like, do you know, something it could be, which would be not Lord of the Rings like, but the Dungeons and Dragons movie that came out a couple of years ago, that was so much fun, and I think it flopped, which was a real shame.
Yep.
Now, that had so much comedy in it. If they made this a comedy, I think it would be a shame, because Link is not a comedic role.
I think, David, they should do what the Narnia movies did, just to make this Narnia.
Yeah, I think that's a good point as well.
It still has the level of appealing to kids, but it's always, you know, the story is taken seriously. So I think that's the perfect balance you can do with like The Legend of Zelda.
The other thing though is that I hope that they don't skimp on the budget somewhere. So like when you see the Super Mario Brothers movie, because it's CGI, it's got absolutely everything in it. Donkey Kong's in it. They didn't, you know, they didn't put Yoshi in it because he's going to be in the sequel, and they held it back. Just like the Sonic movies, the more they've done, it's like, okay, we'll bring in another character for the sequel, which is a big thing. But with this, because it's live action, I hope it's not like. Do you remember the first Milla Jovovich Resident Evil movie? Now you had some people. No. Well, what was I was going to say? You had some people who were zombies. Then you had a couple of dogs that they just covered gloop in. And then the final boss, I guess, you just had one licker. And it's like, there is not a single Resident Evil game that is this light on monsters. So if in this, they've just got some guy who's just got some makeup on and it's, oh, that's Ganon. And then there's just like one CGI monster somewhere. I just want the whole world to feel like that there are
Who's doing this, David? Like, which production is doing this?
I don't know. That's a really good question. Let's see if I can quickly find it
If
out.
it's Netflix, it'll be everything that you feared because you just described The Witcher.
Legend of Zelda movie.
It had one CGI monster, one cool shot, and then the rest of it was just fucking trash.
Yeah. Okay, Legend of Zelda movie. Let's see. Movie or
It's a
adaptation.
movie, not a series.
It is a movie, yeah. At least I believe so. Legend of Zelda crossovers in other media, TV series. In other media, do I have to scroll down? Where's just the film? Okay, Legend of Zelda. It's an upcoming fantasy film, blah, blah, blah. Produced by Columbia Pictures and Nintendo. Distributed by Sony. Sony are distributing a Zelda movie. If I was Sony, I was like, let's tank this shit. Let's just kill Nintendo here. Right. Just halfway through the movie, it just brings up an advert for PlayStation.
There you go.
Yeah. Film is directed by Wes Ball, who serves as producer alongside Shigeru Miyamoto, Avi Arad, who I recognise his name, but Wes Ball, let's see what he did. He directed Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and the Maze Runner trilogy. Ugh. That doesn't really do it for me.
Was that good? I only saw the first one. I didn't stick around.
I didn't really like them. The Maze Runner films basically were trying to be Twilight and Harry Potter and Divergent and Insurgent and all this other stuff.
It was the Snyder stuff of the teen genre, I guess. It was dark. It was edgy. It had all men, and one woman.
What, the Snyder Cut?
No, not Snyder Cut, but like I do remember in the first movie, Maze Runner, there was just one girl, and everyone else was just a dude.
Isn't it weird though how like that's so completely changed generally now? Because everything like Harry Potter, there's Hermione, and then there's like two guys, and Twilight, there's two guys and one girl. It's just, and anytime you get a team up, this is where they say about the token girl, the token, ethnicity, whatever in there sort of thing. But it usually is that way. But now it's very much flipped on its head like that.
I mean, now I'd say it's usually different. Is where like the token character replaces the main character, which how most of the time people get angry.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I would say I think the reason why they did like one girl, two boys trope, they can have emotional drama.
A love triangle.
Love triangle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because like when you think about it, Harry. I mean, like Ron was supposed to be Hermione's thing, but like everyone was like Harry and Hermione, Harry and Hermione. They were shipping them so hard, so they were like, "Oh, they're gonna do this in the movies. They're gonna do that in the next movie. Oh, they're gonna do that. They didn't do it. Oh, fucking sad."
Okay, so
but like,
so here's the
tension.
thing. This is why there is like a slight difference in how this works, because. So in Twilight, it's Edward, it's Bella, and is it Jacob, right?
Jacob.
So in that dynamic, you've got like Bella, and she's like, "Oh, do I love Edward? Do I love Jacob?" Right? Now swap it around a second. Say you've got Edward, and then you've got Bella and Mary. He's just going to be like, "I'm going to sleep with both of you," right? That's the difference.
That's what Dracula did. That's what Dracula did in the Van Helsing film. Don't you remember? He has 3 wives, and he was aiming for a 4th one.
Well, yeah, exactly. This is the difference. This is why it doesn't work the other way around.
Yeah.
The guy would just be like, "Well, I'm going to go out for a battle now, so you stay here." And it's like, "What is this battle?" He's like, "Well, I'm just going around to my side chick, basically."
It's basically like, would you like vanilla or chocolate? And the guy goes, both.
Both. Both. Yeah, absolutely. That's why it doesn't quite work the other way around. Okay, so
I think that
you're gone.
I think there are books like that, but it's not as popular as the one girl been loved by 2 guys for some weird reason, and one is obviously the healthy choice, and one is obviously the toxic choice.
Well,
and the girl will obviously go for the toxic choice.
Did you ever watch Lost?
No.
Oh man, that was like one of the classic examples. So Evangeline Lilly, who plays Wasp in Avengers, she is the girl, and then there's like the main character of Lost, who is like a doctor. And then there's the rough Texan. and there's like this love triangle goes throughout, and she definitely ends up with the Texan first, and before ending up with the other one.
Well, David, I just realized where the dude trope actually is played out, where what you said actually played out, but in a healthy way, which is Leon Kennedy.
Wait, who did he sleep with?
No, he's been constantly been hit on by Claire, by Ashley, by all the girls that he's in a game with, and he only wants Ada, and she's the toxic choice.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, you're right. Yeah. Okay, so I think you've told me before that, like in the movie or something, they say that Leon is married to Claire.
Yeah. So the director of that film kind of. So after the film ended, they didn't have Ada in the film. Obviously, they just had Claire and then Jill. That was obviously like Chris's thing. So the director just basically. Then they also had in the show as well. Claire and Leon were the one that had chemistry. So the director just said. So after the end of the movie, Leon and Claire got married, and everyone's like, okay.
So in the Resident Evil universe, like. Leon and Ada, definitely that is the toxic choice, that he just can't quit her for some reason.
Yeah.
Right. Claire does make sense. Like Ashley doesn't make sense. That always felt like that was a bit weird at the end, where she's suddenly like, well, you did rescue me, so okay, all right. Or whatever.
I'm not your Prince Charming, okay? I'm a guy who's been through shit.
She does suddenly hit on him in the last scene, doesn't she?
Yeah, she continuously drops hit on him. Like, if you look at the dialogue of the game, she's continuously dropping hits on him, where Leon is always, like, the most positive guy you can think of, kind of treats it like, yeah, you will be great as me as Stu in one day. You're the great one. And she's like, this idiot.
But also, I was going to say, on the flip side, do you remember the trivia fact of Resident Evil 4, that if Ashley's up a ladder, and you look up, she'll suddenly grab her skirt and be like, you pervert. Did you know this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah. Obviously, I knew that. They didn't do that. I think they cut
that out of the remake, right?
Yeah. Oh, damn. They should have included that in the remake with that high definition, damn it. The funny thing is, like, Leon has been... The movies Leon, the animated movies Leon, obviously invites Claire to dinner a lot. Like, every time he sees her, he's like, let's go out to dinner today. Let's go out to dinner today.
And she's like, this guy wants to do is eat.
The funny thing is, in the games, like the second game, definitely, Claire's like throwing herself at him, and he hasn't even met Ada yet, and he's always like,
where do you get this from? What, in Resident Evil 2 Remake, Claire is throwing herself at Leon?
Yeah!
When?
Just look at the scene that they're in every scene. Like, Claire's like, how you been doing, Claire? Oh, just surviving. How about you?
Hey,
like,
okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
She's doing the obvious I like you trope, playing with her hair, everything that you know in real life, she's doing it. And then Leon is like the idiot stone face going, oh, good. How about you? There's zombies. You should get away from here now. You should get away.
Okay, and so then the weird thing is that, like, Chris and Jill is the thing. Chris and Jill is the other couple. In the Resident Evil, because, like, it was set in 1998, and now it's set in, like, 2030 or whenever it's set nowadays for however... like, none of them really got together. None of them have got kids. The only one who had a kid is Wesker. The only one who actually settled down and had a family was Wesker. Somehow, somewhere.
The weird thing, David, like the second Resident Evil 2 remake kind of suggests like Leon and Claire adopts not Ashley, what's her name? Cher.
Yeah, they do suggest. That pissed me off.
No, that was like, yes, finally, Cleon is a thing.
Cleon. No, that annoyed me, because at the end, I forget how they changed that. I'm going to bring up the ending of Resident Evil 2. Just because when I got to the end of that game, and Sherry was like, hey, maybe you can be my mom and dad, or whatever the hell it was. I was like, you've just been in a zombie apocalypse, and both your parents died with your father turning into a monster. Resident Evil.
Yeah, but David, they were dicks anyways. They experimented on her.
Yeah, well, true. Okay.
They were like, these guys are the only loving people in my life, and I found them in the zombie apocalypse. Of course I want them to be
Hang on, whoa, stupid adverts pop up. Right, I was not going to mute this one as well. Okay, skip. Okay, let's have a look here. So Claire ending. So blah blah. Oh my god, how much is this?
You have to
So what's
go
the first thing
way
you want to do
past
when we
the
get out
end.
of
Like,
Gotta keep going.
literally to the end.
So they're on the train here. Oh, hang on,
Yeah.
here we go. Here we go. I haven't seen this in a few years. 2020 I played this again, so I haven't seen this in like 5
Yeah,
years.
it's like, is Ada still alive? Walking into the sunset scene.
So, are you guys like boyfriend and girlfriend?
Woo!
No, we're just. Oh, we actually just met last night.
Yeah. That would have been one hell of a first date, though.
Oh, you're right. She is throwing herself
No,
at him.
no idea.
Look,
Yes!
he might be able to give us a ride.
Who the hell is that?
Obvious
Maybe it's
truck
not just
guy
the city.
who's gonna flip Leon
Get
off.
Jerry out of here.
Come on.
I like the fact that he just stand in the middle of the road, like he can fight off a truck.
Wait, but isn't he heading towards the explosion?
Yeah.
That was living
Yeah.
on the day by the great.
He was friendly.
So, is it over?
Look at the chip on her step.
I don't know. But if it's
Yeah.
not, we'll stop it. Whatever it takes.
Yeah, you damn right we will.
As long as we stick
This
together.
is like a rom-com
be
ending,
fine.
actually. The dialogue of it.
Hey,
And they
you
lived
guys can adopt
happily
me.
ever
I hate that.
after.
Hey, you guys could adopt me. She actually said. And get me a
Ticks.
puppy.
Yeah,
This is
damn
the
right you
worst
will.
ending lines of
As long as
anything.
we stick together.
No, David,
We'll
let
be
me
fine.
have this.
Okay, let's have this moment. Let's just hear this out.
Hey, you guys can adopt me.
Adopt you.
We can get a puppy
Puppy.
and a parrot.
Parrot.
I always wanted pets, but my mom said they're too messy.
Yeah, and now she's dead. Right? This is why she deserved. This is why she deserved to be in that bad situation. Her parents just got killed. Everyone she's ever known in her life is dead. And she's like, hey, you could adopt me. Get me a puppy and a parrot.
Yeah, the most I've been through in my life is just in a lab. So obviously I want a puppy and a parrot.
Yeah, oh my god, that was such a cringe ending. Yeah, she should be
No,
emotionally...
David, this is the... I would say Resident Evil, when you think too much hard about it, it is kind of cringy in all sense. Because, like, again, you
I
have...
think that line is as bad, probably worse than any of the bad lines in Resident Evil 1. The Master of Unlocking is nothing compared to that bad line.
But I think that's the one that actually started my Cleon obsession. Before that, I was like, yeah, Ada is like Leon's thing. And then I saw Resident Evil 2 game, and I was like, you know what? I'm jumping ship. I'm for Cleon now because, like, she's obviously looks better.
Right, yeah. Oh, crazy stuff. Anyway, Cap, we'll begin to wrap things up shortly, but is
Ooh,
there...
I do want to get off...
Yeah,
do
go
want to get off this my chest. I saw the movie the new Chainsaw Man movie, which is an anime movie, came off in Japan. And then, David, all I have to say, you need to start watching anime. The West is dead. Japan is where it's
Okay,
at.
I'll bring up a trailer. What's it called? Is it literally called Chainsaw Man?
Chainsaw Man, but go for the movie trailer. There's a series, and then there's a movie, and it's an absolute macabre of tragic love and violence and awesome action.
Okay, so this is 2 months ago, Chainsaw Man movie trailer. I will put up the shield for this.
Yes,
Media
with anime
assets.
definitely put up all the shields.
Oh wow, we'll get the fat force field up then. Right, let's get the Justice League on this. Okay, and here we go. Crunchyroll.
So this came out as a series first, and then they did a movie out of it. And again, it's absolutely
I thought she bit his
amazing.
chest. I thought she was a zombie.
They're demons.
Oh, okay.
But this kind of starts off as like, a normal love story. But if you know the anime, it's a fucked up anime. But if you don't know the anime, you'll be like, it's a love story. And then it just like turns into the most glorious action thing you can ever think of.
And so, is this on anything now, or is it a cinema movie?
It was on theaters, but now it's available on Crunchyroll, I think.
I don't have Do you have Crunchyroll?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, well, yeah, that looks interesting. I wasn't complete. That was only a teaser, I guess. It's a short trailer.
But David, let me describe this to you, okay? You have a chainsaw demon riding a shark demon and fighting a tornado demon while dealing with the bomb demon who was his ex-girlfriend.
Okay, that is quite a lot. That is a lot for a Thursday night.
And the weirdest thing, so if you look at the action of this whole thing, I mean, pretty much all action is now very generic to me.
Yeah.
And then I watch this and I go, yeah, AI is not taking over Japan's animation job. Because, they managed to amaze me even to this day where I go, I haven't seen that one before. And that is indeed awesome.
Yeah, okay, that's good. It is so difficult to do anything nowadays that isn't just that you've seen it 100 times.
Yeah. I don't know why... I don't know why, I know that, the London basically stopped doing anything. England basically stopped doing any sort of shows. But I don't know why, Hollywood basically just slopping its way through the decade where it's, nothing innovative is actually happening.
Yeah.
And most of the time, we're happy about movies that actually look like the movies from the 90s. That's why I like F1. It's basically like a 90s normal movie. But think of Disney, how far they have fallen in animation, where they just did cool stuff. Now they're just slop. Everything they put out is just slop.
Well, yeah, Disney I think Disney were truly ruined by Disney Plus, because they as big as Disney is, they panicked and expanded, and they were like, we need to get loads of shows, and it's like, this isn't what you did. You've never done this before. Clearly, from the Star Wars shows and the first The Mandalorian, wow, this is new. It was different. It was exciting. Yeah. But after that, all the Marvel shows, all the Star Wars shows, it was that we don't know how to do good storytelling, because it would just be a lot of stalling until you meet a bad guy in the penultimate episode and they defeat them in the last episode. And
and everything is just filler.
Absolutely. And then they did the Lady and the Tramp with the live action dogs, and they did that right at the beginning, and it wasn't the end of the world, but that was the only time they did something like that.
I will never forgive making Tramp a small dog. Well, he was big as a Doberman.
Yeah, well, but anyway, so they did that, but then they were like, oh, we need to get a bunch more Pixar. We need to have we need to have a new Disney Plus release movie, and that's what some of these things the Moana, right? That was going to be a series, you said, and
now it's a live action.
Yeah, and they're doing live action remakes constantly. So they're bringing back Tangled. Did you see the trailer for the live action Moana?
I've seen shots of it. I've not.
Okay, let's quickly bring that up before we wrap this up. So it's only a short trailer, but it looks exactly like the CGI movie that came out 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's why they said the top comment was, "This came out in 2016. Why are you remaking this?"
It's crazy, and I think it's because of Dwayne, because Dwayne is already wearing a bodysuit, and he was probably just if I don't do this now, I can't do it. And
just go to Samoa and get another Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. There's Roman can do it.
Well, exactly. Okay, let's bring up the harsh shield here again. Okay, so live action Moana trailer. This is ultra widescreen as well. This is interesting. It looks like a CGI movie, and it's not. Although this probably is. Probably most of what we're seeing is CGI.
I think it's because Netflix did not Netflix. I don't know what you did. They did the How to Train Your Dragon movie, which again is a very early cartoon that they turned into a movie, whereas shot for shot is just the cartoon.
Yeah. So next summer, this is so rushed out, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like,
But
that's all you
when
see
you
of
think about it,
Mal.
Dave, they did the Lilo and Stitch. Unfortunately, made $1 billion. Unfortunately,
I never saw it. Was it any good? Or you're saying unfortunately,
No,
so I'm
it was-
guessing not.
it was definitely trash, but it made $1 billion because it just had a blue thingy that parents would just take their kids to, and then they're just like, okay, stare at this for an hour.
Yeah.
So they just, again, slop wins for some reason.
Well, do you know, there may also be something in that. So Lilo and Stitch came out like in the early noughties, I guess. So
Early
everyone who
2000,
watched
yeah.
that as a kid now has got a kid that they're taking it to. Whereas something
I don't
like,
have a kid.
well, you know what I mean, though. That's what a lot of what people did. And then something like
Yeah.
Snow White, the people who grew up watching that like died 20 years ago. So it's like no one's taking their kid to see that. So, you know, that, and then Snow White didn't do well. Little Mermaid, I don't think that did especially well. But most of them after... What was the last truly successful live-action Disney remake?
Lion King.
Was it Lion King? What came out first, Lion King or Aladdin?
Aladdin came out later, I think. So it was Jungle Book, and
Yeah.
then Beauty and the Beast. No, Cinderella, and
Oh
then
yeah,
Beauty
Cinderella,
and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast. Oh, Maleficent
Cinderella
was
was
the first
actually
one.
good. Sorry?
Maleficent was the first one, wasn't it?
I will never forgive that one.
And they were like, "So we're gonna do Cruella." It's like, but she kills dogs. It's like, don't do this, you know. Anyway, on that note, let's begin to wrap things up here. So Dev didn't make it. No one else made it. Cap, put it there. We held the fort. Boom. Okay. So Cap, where can the
You
people?
fist bump my abs, unfortunately, because
There you go.
Great.
Yeah. What have I done? Right. Okay. But Cap, where can the people find you, and what have you got you want to plug?
You can find me on SWAT Deeds, where I sing, I dance, I throw myself in a bucket, and I work with puppets. And this Sunday will be the next Lion King sketch, and I will reveal the title now. Mufasa and Scar, why is Simba so weak?
I have theories on that, but we'll wait until your sketch. Right. Okay. My name is David Pstansky. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, X, etc. at David Pstansky. Check out any of my books, including Extreme Improv 2, Bigger Book of Improv Games. Get yourself some Geek Battle merchandise, like the Geek Battle mug, which I should stop using green or yellow for any of these books and products. But anyway, until next time, stay safe. Always stay extreme. And ciao for now. Boom. Live long and prosper. And we are off the air.